Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. This is the market update. Let's start with Bitcoin. I know we're the ETH maximalists, and we're starting with Bitcoin. You heard right. I am noticing in Bitcoin, and also working in conjunction with some of our other analysts, that Bitcoin has been able to survive the correction and actually look better than I could have imagined. If you look at Bitcoin going all the way back to the low at 4,000, I've identified this start, stop, start, stop, start, stop phenomenon. Now, I know that probably sounded a little bit verbose for video, but normally when you have three of those, the next rally can be big, okay? So everybody has kind of gotten used to Bitcoin, maybe forgotten about it. Our charts are showing it survived the correction. It hit an important fib retracement around 50K. And frankly, 80 or 100K is possible. Now, that's nice, right? But this is an altcoin show. So let me just bring up two reminders. One, if you see a corporate announcement or a major Bitcoin catalyst, or wake up one day and Bitcoin's up 10%, you better be careful with your altcoin positions. If you've got a lot of profits in altcoins and you see a big move in Bitcoin that doesn't take the rest of the market with it, please be careful. Now, the second thing is I will actually give you the bottom line at the start. On this show, we have talked frequently about all the tricks that bull markets can play on you to scare you. Flash crashes, wild ranges, blow off tops, and then sudden drops after. This case, we have a phenomenon where a lot of the big market leaders, the big cap coins, the charts don't look so good. Now, in the past, in equities, I remember when everything didn't look so good and I could put 15 charts together showing it doesn't look so good, sometimes the market would just turn around and surprise everybody. Wouldn't that be nice? I would actually sleep better if it did. Okay. But when I'm looking at this Bitcoin dominance chart, I'm now transitioning from what I hope happens, from what can happen, to what actually is happening. Okay. This is Bitcoin dominance. It looks like there's a lot of support at 59%. This alt season started in January, long ago, with Bitcoin dominance at 71%. To me, this is starting to look like, altcoins are starting to get tired. Now, I have worked with our quantitative department, and I have right here something that's going out to our customers on Monday, essentially showing that alt season may be getting a little bit tired. This chart confirms that idea. Now, the top 15 market cap: Cardano, Polkadot, Uniswap, Theta is in there now, top 10. Okay. Chainlink and Stellar. Don't forget Binance Coin at number 3, and ETH pressing, correct me if I'm wrong, 200 billion market cap, or it was at the highs. So there is a lot going on in the chart world underneath Bitcoin. All right. And a lot of our automated technical indicators have flashed warning signals in some of these coins. Now, let's talk about Theta, and let's give credit where credit is due. Forrest came to me and said, Bill, let's look at Gann and log charts. And I said, you know what? I'm not sure about that. But then I looked into it, and Forrest was right. As usual, frankly, as usual. So this is a Gann chart of Theta drawn as a log scale. Okay, Theta has moved so much that this log scale is required to get some sort of idea visually about where it's been and where it can go. Now, the red line, the diagonal red line, is the type of trend line that Forrest likes to draw. Okay, it kind of gives you an idea when the market is above or below it, how extended the market may be. So if you go back to early 2021, you can see that, you know, Theta got about 138% above the red line. Interesting that 38% is a fib number. Today, after hitting about 15, Theta is now got 162%, another fib line, above this red trend line, and ran into resistance around 15. Now, what does this tell you? This tells you that Theta may be extremely overbought and extremely overdone. Now, if it breaks, you know, 1468, no one cares, it's going higher, that's great. But if it doesn't, and there's sort of either a Bitcoin rally or something negative happens to altcoins, this could be vulnerable, okay? Just because of how extended it is in many ways. Okay, let's talk ETH, shock and awe. I sat here at my desk in a state of disbelief that ETH fell below support at 1740. ETH had built a base on that level for probably 12 days. Normally, when ETH does that quiet sideways movement, it's a prelude to a much bigger rally. Well, apparently not. Apparently, I had tons of company in the view, which is a really chilling idea as an analyst. So they wash ETH out. ETH comes back to test 1740 and stalls. Now, folks, by the time you read this, I really hope ETH is above 1740 and everything is fine. Okay, but if ETH is not above 1740, it is not good for the altcoin universe. So that is a very big point to keep in mind. Now, total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin. There's a lot of resistance at 682 billion. This is a weekly chart. This is the fourth or fifth week in a row that, you know, total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin, in other words, the altcoin universe, has failed at this level. Now, sometimes it can press resistance. We've seen this all year. And then all of a sudden, there's a catalyst, like something good happening in ETH, and it explodes through. So if it does, altcoin market cap can go to 880 billion. If it doesn't, and again, ETH turns over, you better be careful. Now, ETH market cap, interesting little chart. 200 billion is a very psychological point. ETH has tried to get through 200 billion for the last 5 weeks and has not made it. I think if you see ETH sustaining market cap above 200 billion, that would be constructive for the market. If ETH cannot hold this level, please be careful. Now, I was talking with a customer last night, and we sort of joke around about how many times a day I get asked to chart Polkadot. Polkadot stopped multiple times at 38. So you can tell a lot of these people looking at sizable staking rewards are selling. Not to mention the fact that if alt season does in fact roll over, the Polkadot universe could get hurt the worst because it's highly speculative, right? Just the way ETH and ICOs were speculative back in 2017, 2018. The key level to watch in Polkadot is 32 to 33. Just like with 1740 in ETH, Polkadot seemed to run up there and stall. If Polkadot goes down, 24 is the target. At the end of the day, Polkadot's not only got to get above 32, 33, but it's really got to punch through 38 to prove itself. And that feels like a really tall order. Now, Chainlink, as much as I love the Link Marines, I want to show the Link Marines some love by giving them the navigation that they need. And also to try to actually help them in case there's a correction. Now, the good news is Chainlink has really good support at 24. No one appears to be brave enough to push it below 24. However, Chainlink is not able to get above 28. The red lines show a rising wedge. Chainlink did a break out of the top and then came back inside the wedge. That's not good. That's not good. So 24 in Chainlink has to hold, and it may. And if it does, the Link Marines can take it up to 40. However, if you see an ugly day in Chainlink, particularly if, say, Bitcoin hurt the whole space, I would advise serious caution in this if it stays below 24. Now, Cardano. This is a log chart. Cardano, we had a technical point around 150, and it's pretty much gone sideways since. I think if Cardano is below $1.10, you could see this sort of like Ethereum rebellion bubble sort of pop, right? Cardano's not doing anything bad, but I don't think it's necessarily doing anything good either. Our guys think Polkadot in a best case scenario could head to 5. I would love that. I just think that anybody who has made real money in this and say Polkadot, you need to be very careful and pay attention to your screens this upcoming week. Binance Coin, on the subject of the Ethereum rebellion, has tried to get above $280 multiple times. Each time, the attempt to get through that level gets weaker and weaker. Now, on one hand, this looks like a triangle. On the other hand, things like triangles and formations that work well in equities that are obvious and everyone can see don't always work as well in crypto. Okay? So if Binance Coin fails at 280, there's risk of it going to 175. Now, I know that sounds scary, but I have to somehow convey in a neutral way what could happen if the market turns around and goes down, right? So think of it as, you know, I don't know if the storm is going to come, but if there is a storm, I want to be ready. And obviously, if Binance Coin is above 280 and everything's rocking and it's going to go to 500, well, I'm sure you'll be okay. It's I worry about my audience by saying, okay, what happens if this thing gets rejected at 280? Now, Uniswap, like Chainlink, has decent support below it at 25. That's the good news. Also good news is that Uniswap could reach an upside target of 40. So a lot of what happens with Uniswap probably is a function of talk of the Coinbase IPO. What does that mean? Well, if people think Coinbase is worth a lot, then that could help the Uni token be worth a lot. Even though it's apples to oranges, stocks to a token, okay? You know, Coinbase's IPO mooning either psychologically or actually on the market is good for Uni. That said, if Uniswap gets hammered below 25, I think people could get upset and take it down to 19. Going back to our first couple charts, I mean, if Bitcoin dominance goes up, these coins probably are going to fall. Okay, Stellar. I know, not the most exciting crypto on the planet. But Stellar has shown a propensity after failing at big fib extension lines to turn around and come off. Now, right now, we're looking at 41 cents. This is a top 15 project. If Stellar starts to fall apart and goes to 27, the rest of market is probably going to be going down with it. Now, let's talk about DeFi and frankly, how I got absolutely hosed on this decline. I'm looking at a diamond formation in DeFi futures. And I'm like, this has to be a consolidation to move higher. There's no way DeFi is going to break down, right? Wrong. Part of this talk is showing you how somebody who's in the business handles being wrong, because that is the one thing we all have in common. We've all bought the high, we've all bought the low, we've all done bad trades, and we all just don't get it right sometimes. The question is, what do you learn from that, and what do you do next? Now, in this DeFi futures contract, the fact that they broke out of the bottom of this diamond is flat out scary. I don't like it. The good news is if there was a powerful rally, probably back above 11K, I would feel much better, because you would have a powerful formation, then a bearish signal, then an invalidation of the bearish signal. Now, I know that's a lot to chew on, but if everybody gets negative and all of a sudden it goes up, that's great for crypto. But for whatever reason, if crypto doesn't get it together soon, it's vulnerable to the bears taking control. Again, hopefully this is the bull market trick where all the charts turn and then it goes up anyway. Now, this is not exactly family friendly. This is a Medium article, sort of with a counter idea on NFTs. And I'm just wondering simply if the value in NFTs is not in the marketplaces, but perhaps in the art itself. And I'm also wondering if the art itself is in a bubble mode. As I understand it, somebody paid $70 million for a YouTube video that was once free. Feel free to correct me on that in the comments. You just have to be careful of any type of bubble phenomenon in NFTs, because if something could start a decline in crypto, it could be a problem in this new market. I certainly hope not, but you have to be prepared for it. Now, let's talk about something good. Recently, we released something to our customers called the Polkadot Portfolio. I worked with our quantitative team, and we constructed a portfolio that people could use to effectively speculate in Polkadot in a diversified way. XRT Robonomics came up as a high allocation. So I feed the symbols to the quant team, and they came back with this as like a 20% allocation. I'm also noticing the stop-start phenomenon. Why am I telling you this? Well, if Polkadot gets its act together, this coin could go up a lot. So a recovery in Polkadot above 32 or 33, and then maybe an eventual break of 38 could get a larger rally started in this type of coin. That said, be careful in the speculative Polkadot universe if Polkadot fails at 33. You'll probably be watching this video 4 or 5 days from today, March 29th. Just please be careful. And if you don't have to be careful, well, thank God. Okay, audio, the possible replacement for iTunes and Spotify, picked by Forrest. Audio hit a fib number at 4.5 and is coming back down into a GAN and support zone around 3. Now, folks, if there's a bid for this coin at 3, it is possible, especially with other big altcoins looking weak to neutral, that this could be like a 1 or 2 coin alt market where a lot of people bail on things that they're frustrated with and run into audio. Now, it's also possible that this thing went from $1 to $4. You take your 3X and you go home. However, when we look at the fundamentals of this coin, I particularly want to pay attention to what happens at 3. It's one thing to grab it at and a half and watch it go to 4. It's a total different game to watch it go to 4 and then see if people want to buy the dip at 3. People want to buy the dip at 3, audio is going up. If not, then it's played out. But I do think that there's a risk, especially if altcoins roll over, that a lot of money winds up flowing into this, and you could have sort of like a one-coin alt market. I know that sounds a little weird, but this is a weird market update. And that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in.
Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.